Hello there. This is Shelton Hall. Can you hear me?
Hello, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hey there. Sorry about the delay. I was having a little technical issues with the computer here. How are you doing today?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Where are you at right now?
I'm just in my bedroom right now up in Canada here.
Oh, cool, cool. What's the weather like?
It's been pretty crappy to be honest. It should be sunny by now, but it's been raining lots lately, which sucks.
You're coming through Florida on this next tour. Are you doing shows in Gainesville and Tampa? Um, is this your first time playing in Florida?
Yeah, it'll be my first time in Florida ever. So I'm pretty excited to see everything.
Yes. How much time have you set aside for your time being down here in Florida? And like, do you have any expectations? Are there things you're looking forward to seeing in particular?
Uh we set aside a day to visit Disney World, I think it is, right? In
Hmm.
Orlando.
Yes.
I'm pretty excited to see that because I've never done anything like that. And then also just like the sunshine, like I just love the sun, so I'm excited for good weather.
Good. Good. With the music that you do, that things have. It's been a weird couple of years in this country and around the world. Has the being in Vancouver, I was wondering, have you guys had a different experience of the pandemic, things like that, as compared to a place like Florida? And would you say that it's had? Is there anything that you're doing now that you wouldn't have been doing creatively had that whole situation not come to pass?
The only like I tried to not let it phase me too much. Like
Mhm.
um, I didn't really. Yeah, I still like see friends and like I kind of live my life pretty normal up in Canada. The only thing that sucked was like not being able to fly and visit LA and stuff. So like I feel like I might have missed out on opportunities of um like meeting artists and other producers and stuff that I could
Mhm.
have done. So I guess in that way it kind of kept me like it only kept me in Canada, so I could have lost some things like that. But in terms of like writing music and making music, I feel like I'm still doing the same thing that I've always done. And I'm just really excited that it's like coming to an end now and that I'm able to travel, and
Mhm.
finally go on tour because I've been waiting 3 years for it. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh wow.
it's
Um,
been a long time.
a typical set that you'll be performing on tour. How many songs would you do in a set? How long would the show tend to run on average?
I think it's like just over an hour, and
Hmm.
I do around like 16, 17 songs.
Do you carry your own mics with you? Do you have a special? Do you have like a special mic, like your sidearm that you know use it?
Yeah, no, I don't really like to be honest, I don't really know anything about like like equipment for recording or playing live shows and stuff. I'm not picky about that stuff. I'll use whatever they give me. Yeah.
Putting together a tour like this, and of course, the work's been so successful online and through streaming and whatnot. But the logistics of going on the road, especially say coming all the way down here to Florida, which is gosh, like several hundred miles for the first time, and doing these shows, like uh, it takes like a team, like to kind of make all this happen. I would suppose. And when you're on the road, how many people go with you? Uh, do you have sort of strict delegation of responsibilities among your crew?
Well, I was actually really shocked at how many people we are taking. Like, I did not think it'd be this many people, but so it's me and then plus 10 other guys, and then my wife. So it's like it's a pretty crammed up bus. Um, but it's really cool though. Like I've never lived in quarters that close to other people, so it's like
Mm.
it's a big learning experience. But so far I've enjoyed it, and it's actually it's been really good.
how many shows, how many gigs are set on the current tour? I know you're going to be on the road in June and all that. How far out does that go, and how many different cities does that include?
I think I've already done 3 cities in Canada, and I think I have 11 more in Florida and Texas. So altogether like 14. And then I think that'll go until like June 20 something. Yeah.
Are those how many of those 11 have you played at before?
I have played at none of them. I've only played one concert my whole life, and that was like 3 years ago before the pandemic hit and stuff, and that was in Houston. Or actually, I played in Houston, so that's the only one I've played at.
Wow,
Yeah.
so this is a big leap forward. Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Fuck yeah, that's nice. Did you, the 11 cities? Did you the different cities, and did you pick them specifically? Were they ones that you, and say the venues in particular, like the High Dive and the Social, which are the 2 places in Florida you'll be playing at? Did you pick those specifically, like you had a wish list, or did you kind of or how much of that was just sort of random? Because I'm sure by this point you have connections and pretty much everywhere all over the country. You got your fan base is very widely spread out, which, so tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, no, there's lots of places that I'd love to play that I wasn't actually able to, like, because we booked the tour like a while ago, because it takes a long time to prep everything and stuff. So my management team, they kind of just chose areas that were like wide open back then, and like, so like Vancouver and stuff, they still had like I'm not sure, like mask mandatories or something, or vaccines and stuff and all that stuff, right? And so I just wanted to play areas that were wide open, so that's why it's kind of like random. But I'm hoping to hit everywhere eventually.
Awesome. One of the fun things about the music business now, like, you're 23, right? You may not have even been born back in the times when like when you really had to have a major label deal, you really had to have commercial radio, you really had to have MTV in order to, get the word out there, And it seems like now with the way the business is organized, now I feel like as a fan, I feel like it's way easier now for the fans and the artists to engage directly. It seems like the artist can put out product quicker and more to their exact specifications. The consumer pays less money for the product per unit than they were paying, 20 years ago. And the artist gets like a bigger cut, and such like that. And then, like, we'll say, for example, in your work as an artist, say for the 11, the couple weeks or so that you'll be on the road on this tour, like how would your revenue, what percentage of your revenue for that couple of weeks would come from the touring versus the downloads and the streaming and the royalties and such, which I would assume would be the bulk of your market right now?
Yeah. Yeah, to be honest, I have no idea. Like, I don't really like looking at my numbers. Like, I kind of just push it all aside, and I just try to make music and hopefully get paid, But I'm not sure what the ratio is. I kind of just go with it all.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We just got done with tax season a few weeks ago here in America, and it's always it's always a really big deal. Like, people stress out insanely because our tax code here is like 8,000 pages or something like that, So with the tour that you've got now, is there a particular city or venue that you're most especially looking forward to? I'm sure, you're looking forward to them all, but are there any real like bucket list venues that out
Um,
there?
yeah, I don't really know anything about venues, but in terms of cities, like
Yeah.
I'm excited to see all of Florida because I was actually thinking of moving to Florida like a few months ago
Mm,
with my wife. So it'll be, and I've never been there, so it'll be cool to like go around and scout it out and see what looks nice and stuff, see if
mm-hmm,
anything matches us. Um, and then also I have a friend that was telling me about San Antonio because that's like where he
mm,
grew up with his family.
mm-hmm,
And I've never really been into like the whole like country vibe of things, but like
mm-hmm.
he's told me a bunch of stories about it, and now I'm actually kind of excited to see the whole country side of the states.
Oh yeah, I think you guys will really like Florida. It's a big state. Oh, you're playing in Orlando, Gainesville, and Tampa, I believe.
Yep.
And those are two cities I love, but they're very different, very cool in both ways. They're both college towns, which are great.
Yeah.
Gainesville in particular, has been like a hub for the music scene in the state of
Oh yeah.
Florida for decades and decades. So you going down there to the high dive, like that'll be something that folks are going to enjoy that. You know,
Yeah. That's
uh,
cool.
mm-hmm. And I think when you get to Gainesville, I'd suggest when you get to Gainesville, if possible, try to get there like the day before the show, or you could just hang out the day after the show. But you're definitely
Yeah.
going to want to walk in the area where the high dive is. You're going to definitely want to walk around like the downtown area. Like there's a lot of,
Yeah.
because that's where all the college kids hang out at. And University of Florida is it's one of the great party schools in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Of all the of all the cities in the world that you've never been to, what's the number one city you would most like to check out just to visit, perform at? Yeah. Well,
I
that
would
you've
say
never been to, and not counting the ones that are on the current itinerary.
okay.
Yeah.
I would say it's a tie between Japan and Paraguay. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, Japan is just like I feel like I've always kind of just like looked at just
Yeah.
looked at it like so like I always thought it was so cool. Like I love their food, I love their art, I love their architecture, and I love
Mhm.
how small everything is. So it's like
Mhm.
I really want to experience that. And then Paraguay is where my wife grew up, and she
Ah,
lived there for like I think like 11 years or something. And so she has a lot of family down there, and I'd just love to see like what she grew up in, and experience that.
oh, that's lovely. That's pretty cool.
Hmm.
When you're in Florida, I actually I'll check around, and if I find some information, I'll send it. I'll email it to your people if there's any like Paraguayan American, because I know with a lot of Latin America, Florida is like kind of a hub. Because
Yeah,
say with the Jacksonville Airport, Orlando, Tampa, Miami, they all do straight shot flights to like throughout like Central America, South America. You
yeah, yeah,
can get from like
yeah,
Miami to Rio straight shot, for example. Um,
yeah,
and so that's pretty useful. We've got 67 counties in Florida. They're all crazy in different
yeah,
ways. Like
yeah,
there's a TV show called Cops that was really popular on Fox back in the day. They
yeah,
just they just had camera crews following around police officers while they're doing their bus. It was really crazy when they first started. Uh, and they did a lot of that in Florida. Florida probably gave them half of their footage. You
yeah.
know,
That's awesome.
now they've got a network um, here in America on the cable where you can. It's basically like camera crews and with different police forces around the country, and it goes back and forth like it's like it's the World Cup or something, or
Yeah,
you know, it's
yeah.
ridiculous. What was the first album that you bought with your own money? And where is it at? Like first item you ever procured that wasn't a gift, or you know what I mean?
Yep, it was a long time ago. I think his name was KJ92 or something. He kind of sounded like Eminem, but he was like like a Christian version or something.
Hmm.
And I remember, I think I was like probably 9 or 10, and I was just walking through the CD aisle, and I just thought it looked cool. And I picked it out, and that was the first one.
It when you're coming up in the business, I mean, you're still very early in your career, but you've done, you've been very productive in the time that you've been out here. Was there a particular like a flash moment where you realized like I want to be an artist and get in the industry, or was it sort of something that just kind of evolved gradually, or maybe as a process of other things you were doing?
Yeah, I mean, as a kid, I always wanted to do something with music. I originally thought I was going to be like a producer or engineer or something. And then in grade 12, I like stole my dad's microphone, and I just like started playing around with recording my voice and stuff over beats. And I didn't really think anything much of it. I was just doing it for fun. And then yeah, it kind of slowly evolved, and I started getting more listeners and stuff. And then I was like, wow, like I'm actually making a little bit of cash from this. And then it kind of just kept going up from there, but I had no idea it would get this big.
Was did it kind of like when your first hit really materialized, as it the process of the downloads and the streaming, and like you're watching the numbers coming in, like do you remember there being a moment like you know you really recognize for the first time that wow, there's real momentum, and like this is something that people are really kind of feeling?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember checking Deathbed on YouTube one day, and it was just getting like, I think it was getting like 1 million views a day on this one YouTube video.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just so confused by it. I was like, how, like, why is this all of a sudden doing so good? And then I looked it up on TikTok, and I saw like people were using it on like every video or whatever. And
Oh,
there's just thousands of videos being made with it. And I was like, that's when I was like, what the heck? Like this is actually, this could be something crazy.
oh yeah. I mean, yeah, TikTok, like, the way that you can have like, I guess like you have got a TikTok video and then the song, you can click on the name of the song and it kind of takes you to it or something like that sometimes,
Mhm.
or you can copy and paste like that's, it's become very influential, you
Yeah.
can, a lot of people are really into that. Who did you sign, who did you sign your first autograph for? And where is it at?
Oh man. uh,
Well, question number one, how many autographs have you signed so far? And number two, like, where is the first? Who was it? Yeah.
uh, I'm trying to remember. I I did not know, to be honest. I feel like it was a while ago. It's probably like it's probably like one of my mom's like friends' kids or something that I signed it for. But and I feel like I've signed hundreds by now.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so I can't remember the first one.
Now, when there's like in terms of say, I don't want can't say demographic or market or anything, but like your fans, because of course you engage your fans, and that's part of that's a big part of your success. What are they like? Like when you meet fans, what's the first thing that they usually ask you? You know,
Um,
like say a devoted fan that's already gone online and seen all the stuff that can be seen online. Like what's the hardcore fans lead in question the first time they talk to you?
a lot of people ask like about their favorite song that I wrote. Like they'll ask if it was like a true story or what inspired me to write it and stuff. I feel like that's a very common question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then like at my show, like the 3 shows I just played, I met up with the fans after the concert,
Mm-hmm.
and they would, yeah, like I was surprised by how many like they would always say like they would always like be screaming for a picture or a hug or whatever. And yeah, that was just really cool to see. Like I had like it looked like my entire audience waited like 20 minutes after the show to see me, which is like really cool to see. Like I didn't know that they cared that much, you know. So it's yeah, that was really cool.
Where was your when and where was your first? You said you'd done a concert before that. Where was the first one you did, and how many people were there?
You're saying the first one out of these three?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Uh, yeah, the first one out of these three was in Calgary, and
Mhm.
then I went to Edmonton and then Saskatoon.
Cool. Is there like because I'm a new fan coming in on this project. Like how would you describe like the music scene in Vancouver, sort of historically and right now? Is there How would you describe it to an outsider who wasn't aware of it? I'm sure, and I
Um,
know there's a lot of stuff going on, but is there like
yeah, yeah. I mean, uh, it's kind of funny because like I feel like downtown Vancouver, like in the Vancouver area, I feel like there's a lot of like older guys like in their 40s that are doing like I don't know, they're just like hardcore hip hop guys.
mhm.
And I've had a few of them like reach out to me like wanting to collab and stuff, but it's just like our music is so different, you know? So it's like
Yeah.
that's why I don't really hang out with that scene.
Hmm.
But then like I had one other guy that I went to high school with out here who makes like pop music now and stuff. So like we'll work together, which is really cool. But I feel like yeah, I feel like most of the people out in the Vancouver area are just like the gangster hip hop people kind of thing.
I hear
Yeah.
you. If you could wake up, if you could wake up in the morning with with overnight complete mastery of any musical instrument, what would it be?
Oh man. Probably piano. I feel like piano is just like it sounds so like if you ever hear like just an instrument on its own, I feel like piano can just like I don't know, just sounds so nice to me. Um Guitar sounds nice too, but it's not as full, you know? Like piano, I feel like you can create like a whole song with just piano. So yeah, I'd say piano.
Uh, when you're on the road going through these cities, which you hadn't been to before, and you're eating and stuff, having drinks and whatnot, are you? Will there be specific types of food items that you're going to look to sample as they're done in different ways? Like some people just it's like, oh, we're going to do pizza the whole way, or we're going to just do oysters the
Yeah.
whole way, just to see how different locations do it. Or when you're on the road, will you deliberately seek out things and items that you've never had before that you can only have, say, in that particular location?
Yeah, definitely that one.
Mhm.
I yeah, I'm not really a picky eater. Like I love all types of food, so
Mhm.
I I yeah, the first three shows I did, I was eating a lot of fast food and I did not feel good. So hopefully I'll be eating a little bit healthier this run. But yeah, I want to try new things, you know.
Absolutely. What kind of beer do you like?
I'm not a big beer guy. I
Mm.
uh I like uh I like doing shots more.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
you'll enjoy that. Another fun thing about Florida, particularly in the Tampa area, and also in Gainesville. They both have a lot of craft breweries, but I know like Tampa has a big like a craft distilling scene. You know,
Yeah.
Jacksonville, like Northeast Florida, which is where I live at. They have all. We make our own whiskey, our own vodka, our own gin. We're already like exporting it to other states. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you could if you could take one selfie with any one living person, you know, to one selfie with one living person that you've never met that would have to sit as your social media profile picture for the rest of the year, who would it be?
Uh, maybe like maybe Will Ferrell.
Nice.
Yeah.
My current, just between you and me, my current Facebook profile picture has me shaking hands with a guy named Ric Flair. And
Oh yeah.
yeah,
The wrestler, eh?
yeah, the greatest pro wrestler of all time.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's because, Florida's the kind of place where that guy just walks up in the bar while you're having fish and chips and,
Yeah.
starts
That's
signing
awesome.
people's sneakers.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Um, what's your daily routine like? What do you have other career things that you do outside of the music and the video and stuff like that?
Um, yeah, I got lots of hobbies. Like I love playing basketball. That's a big one.
Mm,
I like soccer a lot. I play video games. I try to read the Bible. Um, Hanging out with friends.
mhm.
That's yeah, I don't know. It's a bunches. I like any activities.
Yeah, I mean, tell me a bit about just for a moment. I don't want to get you too deep into like religious conversation, but just tell me briefly about like some of your favorite parts of the Bible.
Yeah.
Like just the stuff. Tell me about the parts you like to look to when you like
Yeah.
to smile, or the funniest parts. The
Yeah. Yeah, no, I really like the New Testament. That was kind of like what got me into the Bible, like
Mhm,
interested in it, was just reading about like Jesus's life. And I just like one of my main things I love is just seeing how he'll respond to things how nobody expects him to, you know?
mhm,
Like if you've never heard the stories in the Bible and you read it, like I feel like I would be caught off, like I feel like anybody would be caught off guard so much because he always does like what you're not expecting him to do, but it's like there's always like so much wisdom in every choice he makes, I feel like,
yeah.
and love behind it as well. So like that was like very inspiring to me, I guess. And then I also like I started reading this book in the Bible called Proverbs, and it's basically I don't know if you know what it is or not, but
Hmm.
it's basically
Yes.
like yeah, it's basically just a bunch of sentences or just like quotes
Hmm.
that King Solomon wrote in the Old Testament.
Yes.
And I feel like it's just like there's so many of them that just relate to like my life, you know. And it's like I feel like every time I read that, I learn something new, and it's yeah, it's quite
Yeah.
cool to read.
And it's one of the most accessible parts of the Bible. It's a good one to show to skeptics or people that may be unfamiliar with the book.
Yeah,
I always
yeah,
used to joke that the Bible is kind of like the Beatles. Like like even if you're not a Beatles fan, like you still have to listen to everything at least once. Like it's
yeah,
just you just have no choice. Like you just have to do that. You know,
yeah,
if if our Lord returned, say if our Lord returned, knocked on your door right now, and said, "Hey, just wanted to stop in, say hello," right? And
yeah.
you're sitting down, and what's the first record or what's the first song, not by you, but of the first record you pull out of your collection to play for Jesus? While you're while the two of you are sitting at the coffee table chatting. You know.
This is probably the craziest question I've ever been asked.
Well,
Maybe
thank
I
you,
love
thank
it.
you.
Oh man, I uh, I feel like it would have to be like a worship song.
Mm,
Maybe there's this one song that I've been playing in my shows called Holy Spirit, and I've learned it on guitar, and that's probably my favorite song to sing. So I'd say that one.
very nice.
Yeah,
Uh, for the record, my answer would have been my answer would be "A Love Supreme" by John Coltrane.
I don't know it.
It's Coltrane, greatest tenor saxophonist in jazz history. After he
Okay.
overcame addiction in the early 1960s, he did a jazz album called "A Love Supreme," and it's quartet, tenor saxophone, piano, upright bass, and drums. It is a 3-part meditation on his redemption in jazz form. Like for him, it's a spiritual meditation. But it's even for people that you don't even know the backstory, but it's like for a listener may not know the backstory, but it just comes off as like legitimate one of the 5, easily top 5, top 3, easily maybe number 1 jazz LP of all time. If you say if someone makes the case that A Love Supreme is the greatest jazz album ever, it's you can't really argue with that. And it's a real and he does like a lot of circular breathing type stuff, where you can like sort of continuously exhale through the horn while taking in air through your nose. So there's never a pause, so it's like a kind of it's like it has the way he uses the horn has a effect kind of similar to like Southern Baptist revival music, like just a wail and a screech, but it's like deep, and it's he was as good on saxophone as Jimi Hendrix was on guitar.
Yeah, that's cool.
We're wrapping things up here. I want to thank you for talking with me. I got a bunch of I'll send you guys some more information, and I'll see you at the show.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for having me, Shelton.
For sure. And welcome in advance to Florida. You're gonna have a great time.
Heck yeah, I hope so.
Yes, sir.
All right, see ya. Have a good day. God bless.
God bless you too.